James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is November 19th, 2024. God bless you and yours. No matter where you are in the world, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we have someone testifying in front of the Brevard County Commission, and he's testifying in Cape Canaveral, Florida, that the ISS is fake. I tend to 100% agree with him. I had about 30 videos up on YouTube, all using what we call augmented virtual reality. It's a real-time virtual reality, and a bunch of mess-ups, cables that showed up, etc. And they were all removed by YouTube without any email or anything, and someone also removed them from my computer. Now, this gentleman has a lot of what I had, but I had a lot more than he does. I tend to remember a Good Morning America episode where the astronauts forgot that there was supposed to be a 15-second delay, and they were having a direct conversation with the folks on Good Morning America, Regis, until one of the astronauts kicked the other one, and then they started trying to count to 15 seconds. Although they were very inconsistent with that. The other thing I'd like to mention is the ISS is probably going to fly over you. I live about 22 miles from an intercontinental airport, and when a 747 flies over my house from that airport at probably a top altitude of about 30 to 35,000 feet, it looks like a little bitty speck on a clear summer's day. With not a cloud in the sky, there's a little white speck up there at 35,000 feet, which is really under 7 miles high. Well, they say the ISS is 200 miles high, and when it passes over you, I want you to go out and look. You can actually pull up a route and find out exactly when it's going to pass over you. It passes over everyone. Well, I've done just that. And the thing was absolutely huge. This means, A, the ISS, if it's really at 200 miles above Earth, is absolutely huge, thousands of times larger than they say it is, or B, which is, of course, the answer, it's much closer. Probability, based on how big it looks when it passes over you, and I want you to do this for yourself to prove it to yourself, is that it's probably at 60 to 70,000 feet and attached to several high-altitude balloons. Now, it does go where they actually have the path going, so you will be able to see it come over your area at some point during the year. I want you to go out and look up on a clear evening or day. And again, the thing's going to be absolutely huge. Now, I had all the contracts as well for the virtual real-time augmented reality companies. There are two in particular, and they've taken that information away as well. I guess it's called augmented real-time virtual reality. Now, they use green screens, etc., but it is real-time VR. Let's listen to what this gentleman has to say to the county commissioners at the county commissioners meeting. And he does have a lot of what I've covered in my videos, but definitely nowhere near all of it.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in York County. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk with his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they in the water? Now what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space. Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they're indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know that we're all thinking, NASA is part of the federal government and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference.
Now here's just one other example of someone's head disappearing, i.e. green screen. They're pretending to be on the ISS. It's actually augmented real-time virtual reality. And they're telling that, people want the truth, Elon Musk. Well, I think everyone knows the truth. Anyone with the ability to think knows exactly what's going on, period, here. I don't believe that we've been to the moon, and I sure don't believe that this space station has been in orbit for almost 30 years and never has had any type of rock or anything else go right through it at 2 to 5 to 7,000 miles an hour. And finally, I'll ask of you, why does Wernher von Braun, who was actually in charge of all of our rockets for NASA during the Apollo missions, have only one thing written on his tombstone when he passed away in 1977? Psalms 19:1. And if you don't know what Psalms 19:1 is, well, let's go find out, because it's going to be real important to this story, which is not really a story. Also, I want you to see it go over you. So here is spotthestation.nasa.gov tracking_map CFM. And this will tell you real time where exactly you can see the space station. Eventually, it's going to go over your location because it's gone over mine many times. And I've given y'all the link here. You know, as soon as I did a video on why the space station hasn't been hit by a rock, the arm, about a week later, got hit by a rock. It was absolutely laughable. NASA has struck my channel before because I laughed at them because the astronauts' boots weren't shaking going through the atmosphere at 27,000 kilometers per hour. Not even a little shake in their boots or anything. And they were moving their hands freely. If y'all have ever taken off from an airplane, you know how hard it is to lift your hands and move them freely during the takeoff. And let me assure you, during the takeoff, you're only experiencing, well, much less than 1 G, where they're supposed to be experiencing several Gs going through the atmosphere at approximately 17,000 miles an hour. Psalms 119:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. That is what von Braun put on his tombstone. Hope that wakes everyone up just a little bit. And the firmament showeth his handiwork. God bless you guys. Share and subscribe, and don't believe a thing the government tells you. And that will include Elon Musk and any other people that you have confidence in. Always remember that anything's possible in Bizarro World.